Welcome back, Filmaholics. My name is Kyle Kendrick, and in this channel you find anything and everything filmmaking. So the a6400 has been out for a year now, and I've had it for a year now. You've seen it on my channel several times, you've seen it on some of my vlogs, and I figured why not review it after a year of using it. So to start things off, I want to talk about the specs of this camera, specifically the specs that I bought the camera for, I guess. So to start things off, it is an APS-C sensor. That's a small pitfall because I like full frame. I like how this full frame camera that you're viewing me on looks. But I needed something to kind of start with, something with more picture profile, something with more video quality than the one I had before, the a6000. So I chose the a6400. And also it comes with 4K at 24 frames per second only. Now, if you do want to use the 120 and 60 frames per second, it is going to be 1080p, but that's still going to be decent. Not a lot of people are going to see that on YouTube. Like, most people don't really realize what they're watching isn't 4K. That you just upscale it and then people think, oh wow, it looks great. But again, 8-bit 422, so you won't have the most color grade capabilities in post, but it's still, again, decent for an APS-C body. Speaking of the body, I do want to talk about the specs on the body itself. One thing that I do enjoy that it has is the mic input, and I love that because if I wanted to vlog with it, I could, and I couldn't do that with my a6000. So it is a big benefit in my opinion. Now another thing is it's using the older batteries, the NPF W50s, and those don't last as long as the Z100s. So that's a little bit, just like a rule, like not rule breaker, I guess a no-no for most people. Another thing that's a no-no for most people is that it's a single card slot. So if you want a dual card slot, don't get this camera. But if you're fine with just one SD card, if you're fine with just using it for vlogging and getting one big SD card, then you're good with that. That's what I was doing for a while. I used a 128. Now, another thing that it helps for people who use it for YouTube or vlogging or anything like that is that it has a kind of flippy screen. It's like a 180 flipping screen. It's a really weird, it's a really intricate way. It makes me feel like I'm gonna break it sometimes, but it is sturdy. It feels sturdy, but I just personally feel like if I drop it like that, it's just gone. Same thing with regular flippy screens. I don't know why I said it that way, but it does have it. So if you are gonna use it for vlogging, then it does help out. So before talking about the a6400 a little bit more, I want to show you guys this example clip right here. And we're back. So now that you guys have seen what it could do, let's talk more about it. And the main thing I wanted to talk about in the beginning is that, yeah, from what I said in the specs, it doesn't have a lot. It doesn't have 10-bit, it doesn't have 4K 1080, 4K 60 and 4K 120. But in the same time, the 1080p looks amazing. Again, if you're just using it for YouTube, no one's gonna really notice. And also another thing is, it has amazing features like picture profiles and stuff like that. And it's at a fraction of a price for something like the camera I'm using right now, the A7S III, which is $3,500. Now that camera is only like 900 plus tax, so that's a third of the price for almost half of the features. Yeah, you're missing full frame and you're missing 10-bit, but at the same time, if you're just starting out, or if you've been working on something and you don't have picture profiles, you don't have the capability to edit it and kind of color grade it and do whatever you want with it, this is a great upgrade for that. I know that from experience. I used to run with the A6000 and I did a lot with it. I loved everything I could learn from the A6000, but the main problem with the A6000 for me was that I felt like I did as much as I could. And yeah, that's not completely true, but I wanted to upgrade to something where I could show more of my capabilities in color grading and in just content creation. So when I upgraded to the A6400, my mind was blown on how much I was actually capable to do and inspired me to do more. So that's why I kind of endorsed this camera even in 2021. With all the features that we have these days, honestly, you don't need all of them unless you do. But most of the time, you're not gonna need all of them if you're just starting out. So if you've been starting out or if you just started out for a while, I highly recommend the A6400. And if you guys end up wanting to check this camera out or buy it, just go in the links down below. It's an affiliate link at no extra cost to you guys. I tried to find the cheapest price for most people anyway on Amazon, just so that you can get the most out of your money. And also it helps out the channel a little bit more as well. So if you guys want to check that out, down in the description below. And if you want to check out more of my film gear reviews, go ahead and check out those playlists right here. And also don't forget to like and subscribe and dream on.